Hey YouTube, this is Blaze Wolf, deck profile deck profile on the Revengers. I know in English meta it just came out. Japanese meta it came out for a couple of months already. I believe about a little over 6 months. Um, this is not a Raging Form deck. This is actually the Cross Ride, the Cross Break Ride. But unfortunately, I did not get the creeping goat yet. Uh, so I'm using the set 12 starter Claudus right for now. It's still decent for what it's worth. Just gotta be careful of grade locking at 3. But anyway, Claudus, you already know what it does. You need to be a grade 3 Vanguard, Counterblast 1, put it into Soul, Superior call a Blaster Dark from deck onto the field. Uh, so yeah, it's a 5k 0. Um, this is the you all know how certain cards have a specific boost 10k booster, like Chargo for Garmar, the Airmo Flame of Hope for Dragonic Overlord, and Chaos Breaker Dragon even has one in Link Joker. Wingo for Blaster Blade, the Stallion for Alfred. This 4K Grade 1 booster is for the Crossbreak Ride, Dragruler Phantom. Uh, so you only actually need to play 2 of these. Otherwise, more is actually a dead card or it's really weak. I mean, 4K booster, come on. If it's not for Dragler, it's useless. It's bad. Otherwise, also trigger count. I'm currently playing 4 draws, 8 crits, and 3 heals. It's quite ideal this way because you don't really stands won't really help much considering you're playing 7 grade 2s which are only 9k, 4 of which are Blaster Darks, the other 4 are Masquerade and 3 Tartus. Uh, more than more than 3 Tartus, if you don't need to play 4 Tartus because it's first of all it's Counterblast 2, that's bad. Um, you're playing that uh over over mana the 8k grade 2 R card because one, it stays on the field. Two, um, it's 9k attack. It's 9k power. You can still hit. You can actually hit. You will only be able to hit 17. No, 16k max. Unless you're playing the 8k vanilla booster, which is you actually don't play in the Revengers. This is the Cross Break Ride. Limit Break, retire 2 Revengers, Counterblast 1. If the opponent is at 4 or less damage, they take 1 damage. Damage check is they have to damage check. Meaning if they're at 4 damage and you're at 4 and you hit his skill, they hit a heal trigger, they will heal. If they hit a draw trigger, they draw. Etc. etc. 2k if Mordred Phantom is in Soul. If you cannot use this ability at level at if opponent's at 5 damage. Okay. I know some people have trouble reading, and unfortunately, that's every card game. People who don't read are everywhere, and as most of you who play on Cardfight area know, people don't read their cards. Okay, Blast the Dark Revenger, Counterblast 2. I kind of don't want to say anymore. We only read same Blast the Blade Liberator is the same thing. Only front row units can be retired. There's another crit. Okay. This card is Doreen. Y'all know I only played 2 of her. If he's on the field when Blast the Dark comes out, in the same column, you get to unflip 1 damage. Essentially meaning you blast the darks skill, you're only paying 1. Okay, this is the level grade 1 masquerade. Um, 3k additional 3k if there's a Revenger card, if your Vanguard is Revenger in name. So meaning it's a 10k attacker, but most likely at that point you won't be needing it to attack except for boost. Tartu, Counterblast 2, call a grade 1 or less Revenger onto the same column as her. Well, behind her. You can play mana if you want. That's especially true if you're playing uh, the cross break ride. Otherwise, I highly suggest you play Tartu instead. For heals, the second one for Blessed Darks. For Mordred Phantom, you all know the skill already. But for those who don't, Limit Break 4 when Shadow Paladin rides over him, plus 10k power to Vanguard, and then you Counterblast 1. You choose a grade 2 or less Shadow Paladin and call it onto R circle, and that the unit you call using his skill gets an additional 5k power. Oh, did I mention Dragruler, the cross break ride? When you use his skill to retire 2 and make the opponent take 1 damage, he gains an additional 10k power. On top of this, that will make him a 33k base. Mordred Phantom's second skill, when it attacks the Vanguard, he gains 2k power. Dragruler Masquerade, Vanguard Revenger in name, plus 3k, making a 12k attacker. Tartu, crit triggers. Revenger Macler, Perfect Guard, I'm playing 2 of that. Yes, I'm playing 2. Why? Because in set I thought I was playing 2, not 3. But yeah, because in set 15, as you all have gone on Cardfight Wikia to look at, we Shadow Paladin, Aqua Force, Mega Colony, and Kagero, they all get a Quintet Wall. Counterblast 1, top 5 cards, go to guard circle to guard. This one is how many? I don't know how many of you remember the Blaster Javelin. You know the cards in set 4, those 6k boosters, where you ride and then you search out the grade 2. Well, this one is essentially the same thing, but except minus the grade 2 part. The second half of those ability, hits the field, take a grade 3 in hand, or was it a card in hand, discard it, and you grab Mordred Phantom. That's it. That's all it does. So, yeah. I'm playing, I believe, 2. This is 7k attack, and yep, that's it. That's the deck. I probably should have done Mordred Phantom, Raging Form, but Raging Form there's really not much of a difference. Basically, the 10k booster for the Phantom and this 7k booster you're gonna be swapping out for the 6k Soul Blast. You know, the Soul Blast one gain 5k, making 11k booster. For Raging Form, you're gonna instead play that, 3 of that, 2 of that, and 2 trumpeters. The Shadow Paladin, yeah, trumpeter, Starcall trumpeter. What was this? Yeah, basically you'll be playing 2 of those 2, and then instead of the cross break ride, you know what? It's better to show you. Basically, the cross break ride, if you play Raging Form, you're gonna be replacing this for all four of him for Raging Form, and these two, and and him, like, you know, I play two of each, so you're gonna be replacing them with the trumpeter, Shadow Paladin trumpeter. If you when you hits the field, you counterblast one. You call a grade 0 to the field in rest position. Uh, Depending on how you play, you can play one or two, and the damn, I always forget the name. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The Raging Form 11K booster, you can play anywhere between 2 and 3. I recommend 2, and replace it for this for that if you play Raging Form. So there's really not going to be much of a difference with Raging Form decks. But if you play Dragruler, the cross break ride, there will be a notable difference. Uh, this is the cross break. If you want opinion, Raging Form is actually better, much better than the cross break ride. Why? Because Raging Form limit break, you can go off as long as you have 4 damage in, as long as you the user is at 4 damage. But Dragruler is very timing specific. If you miss it, you basically only have a 13k vanilla. Pretty much like Dragonic Overlord at the end, when you can't even touch the opponent once. Yeah, basically, you know, Dragonic Overlord, if it doesn't have 2 open cards in damage to counterblast, or the opponent just doesn't let you hit, or you don't have a second copy of the end in hand, same thing. This is the same thing as him. It's just a 13k vanilla. But for the most part, this, as long as you make sure to use his skill when the opponent is at 4 damage. Ideal is when you using it when your opponent is at 4 damage. If the opponent is at 3 damage, you're at 4, sure, why not use it? Because once the opponent is at 5 damage, you can't use it, and it's just gonna sit there. It's just gonna sit there saying, "Hi, I'm 13k. Come at me with your 17 and 16k columns." Meanwhile, if you use Raging Form, it's gonna be, yeah, you're at 5 damage. Oh, let me retire 3, Persona Blast, restand, swing again for 21k. So that's the Revenger deck for Dragruler. Enjoy!